Today, I was browsing the internet. I just remember some of the very interesting lessons that I learned when I was young in my youth at the history classes about the conflicts between England, later Britain, and France. There were over 46 wars between these two kingdoms and later empires. Well, and I wanted today to dig more and find some untold facts or less known facts, and they were plenty. I made a list and I want to share with you. So, let's entitle this video The Historical Rivalry Between France and England, or England and France, so nobody will be upset, okay? Which dates over more than 1,000 years. We're gonna talk about intrigues, politics, diplomacy, and dominance over colonies in Europe. But let's start with the first untold fact, the Norman conquest, which dated in 1066, which complicated the loyalties. Well, William the Conqueror, a French-speaking Duke of Normandy, became the King of England, but remained vassal to French king for his French lands. Oh, alright. Sounds complicated, right? A French-speaking Duke of Normandy, William the Conqueror, became the King of England, but remains vassals with his territory to French king. This started a dual allegiance, full centuries of conflict between the two crowns. Right. Another fact is the secret clauses of Treaty of Paris from 1259. Under this treaty, King Henry III of England at that point renounced to claim several French territories. But why? And everybody asks why. But secretly, after the sign of the treaty, retained the ambitions to reclaim them. So he just made a diplomatic move to improve relations, but secretly started to reclaim them. Well, the out fact is this kept tensions between the two nations, leading to other conflicts like the well-known 100-Year War. So that was the... Alright, next one. Good. It's about of John of Dark. Joanna Dark. As a betrayal by the Burgundians. She was betrayed by the Burgundians. Well, the fact is, the Burgundians, which were a French faction, captured Joanna Dark and handed over to the English for execution. This was between the French Burgundies with the England high castes. And these were some deals made in the 100-year War. French often conspired against each other factions for the sake of power, right? So French betrayed and sent John of Arc to the English for execution, right? Right. Now let's talk about piracy in the English channels. Well, these are less known facts. But piracy between English Channel, in English Channel and between France and England was at its peak in the 14th and 15th century. At that point, we can call them corsairs because they were hired pirates, often secretly sponsored by the respective crown, to ride each other's coastlines. And this with the purpose to weaken the trades routes of the two countries. Okay. And next, just over that. The secret support for Scottish rebellions. Well, it is known that one of the two countries we started support on the enemies of the other countries. Right, and France had done so with the Scottish kingdom. France often covertly backed Scottish rebellion against English rule, secretly providing funds and military assistance in order to undermine England's power in the north. This was most often between 14th and 16th century. Right. Most times, these two kingdoms, which in the 17th and 18th century became superpowers, empires, used spies during their wars, especially during the Napoleonic Wars. Both nations developed sophisticated spy networks during the Napoleonic Wars, and Napoleon used spies in England to gather intelligence, while British spies infiltrated mostly French military and political circles in order to sabotage strategic points. Alright. Well, they fought, these two kingdoms or empires, they fought whenever they meet, wherever they meet in the colonies of our overseas, in the Caribbeans, in the Pacific Oceans, in Indian Oceans, and everywhere. So this was a global conflict between these two nations. But how about during the American we know that France supported American Revolution to weaken the power of England on the American soil. Well, while official at war, France and England had secret negotiations during American Revolution. France supported colonies against England, but secretly feared a full British collapse because it could destabilize Europe. Right. Now this is a little bit tricky to understand. So they, in other words, they supported the American Revolution, but just a little bit, just not too weak, too hard. The British army, because they fear they can destabilize Europe. Next fact, the Treaty of Dover. Treaty of Dover. And the high hidden Catholic clause. In 1670, Charles II of England signed the Treaty of Dover with France, Louis XIV, I think. Yes, Louis XIV. But that treaty had a secret clause. Charles agreed to convert England to Catholicism in exchange for French military and financial support. But this secret clause never fulfied, but caused political intrigue in England. All right. Next, the secret role of French exiles in English court. During the 17th and early 18th century, many French Protestant exiles fleeing persecutions in a Catholic France worked as spies for the English crown because they were supported, aided financially, and so on. So this was like a job. If you're a dissident in France, you can work as an English spy and you are protected by the English crown. Their intimate knowledge of France helped England in several diplomatic and military maneuvers, especially overseas and with the colony takeover. Alright, this is interesting. And the next fact, which is by the way the last one, there was a secret Anglo and French agreement over Egypt in 1904. Took out rivalry and colonial competition between two nations. The Entente Cordiale in 1904 included a secret agreement. France would allow Britain to control over Egypt, while Britain will not interfere with French missions and ambitions in Morocco. This deal shaped their colonial strategies in Northern Africa. Yes, and this is, I think, these facts just were a few of them, because there are also a lot of very interesting untold facts out there, and who knows how can I put my hands on them. interesting, besides those 46 wars and conflicts between those two big nations, well, these hidden aspects reveal the complex layers of diplomacy back then. Espionage, diplomacy, sabotage, intrigues. Well, Europe was full of this kind of aspects in the medieval period and in the modern period. That's why I like European history. I hope you enjoy this video and thank you very much for watching.